Hello, it's Lee here, and I'm going to take part in the Facebook group Junkjournal Ideas and Inspirations June challenge, which is called Sayonara Scraps. So this challenge is to use up as many of your scraps as possible, and you can use fabric or paper or lace, whatever you've got. And I'm choosing to use a box of fabric scraps I've got here. So this is only a very small portion of my scraps. I would have probably, I don't know, at least 10 times this amount. So there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's bits of seam, there's organza, there's sari silk, curtain fabric, bits of lace. There's also a whole heap of these little squares that I cut up. I can't remember what I cut them up, but I've got about 5 bags of them. So I thought, to make it a realistic challenge for me, I would use as many out of this one particular box that I could actually get through. And I'm going to be doing 4 projects, and this week's project is going to be these, or this, put that over there. So it's just a little notebook made from fabric, glued and sewed onto a magazine page, and then I've just stitched in some pages and made up a little label that I've glued on to the outside. So that's one little book. It looks like it's in prism, it's just the pattern on the fabric. Okay, so I had actually thought I filmed the making of this first one, but I had not. So hopefully I don't have any technical problems with the next lot, except I just looked over on the disc and saw my microphone sitting there. There we go. So we're off to a flying start. Not. Okay, so the first thing I did was to cover, or to glue on a piece of fabric to the inside and both sides of that paper. So I need some reasonably big ones to do that. So that's a good piece. That's another one. It's too small. These ones would be great. Not wide enough to get the parrot on, I don't think. Another good piece. Let's have a look. Oh, just about. Would it matter if I had the seam, what do you call this? The selvage. Isn't that the selvage? I think it might be. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I did anything technical to do with sewing. Well, here's a wider piece. This isn't better. Okay, so I've got a big piece with the parrots. I'm just gonna glue my fabric onto my paper, or my paper onto my fabric, probably. Yeah, if I just take that to, I'd like the parrot's head to be somewhere where it can be seen, like that. Okay, so I'm going to end up with an extra scrap. It's the trouble when you do this scrap busting stuff, is you end up with more scraps. So I'm just going to cut that there to start with, and I just want to make sure I'm sewing it in the right place. Luckily you can see through this one, so I'm just going to glue that on there. This is just to hold it in place, because I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew it on. And I want the parrot's head showing I'll try and line that up with the edge. That's one that I don't have to trim off. And this fabric is quite thick, so yeah, and the glue's not sticking. Thought that might happen. So I don't want to put a thick piece on the inside of this one. It's not sticking at all. To use the different glue on it. I'll try the Uhu. See if that works better. It's shiny magazine page too. Okay, so that's what that one's going to look like. It's still not sticking. Okay, so let's find another piece to go inside. So I thought I'd be clever and use big pieces so that I get through some scraps. Okay, so that'll look quite nice. Pop that on there. I'm not really worried about things being too squared. They're just a little notebook to throw into my handbag. I'll give one to Mum. She might like that. So I'm just going to pop that to the side and do another one. Do I want to go for another bird? I've only got, I haven't really got a full bird there. It has got that nice stampy thing. Okay, yeah, I might use that. Wouldn't it be easier if I just cut this to size beforehand? You can't tear this fabric. So I'll just cut that there. So I've got that, and I need a little bit for the inside and the light piece. This green looks pretty good. Square it off a bit. Okay. Don't want to use that one. So that one will just have the little bird's head down the bottom. It's not sticking either. I'm going to have to use some clips on these. Otherwise they're just going to fall apart when I try and sew them and end up in a mess. Okay, so that's 2 ready to sew, and I'm just going to do this one now. Okay, so they've been stitched together and trimmed. So that's the one, the parrot on the front. I got a bit of sunshine coming on the desk. It's that time of day. So that's just got some inked sheeting on the inside. And this one with the silk on the inside and the pretty floral fabric on the outside. And then this one, that fabric, that green stuff that wouldn't stick. I found when I started sewing it, it actually had a bit of stretch in it, so I just, well actually that sunlight's working for me, isn't it? You can see I just went round and round and round it with the sewing machine. I think I'll put that on the outside because it looks quite nice. The gold thread against it. Just make sure I put the parrot's head up the right way. And yeah, so what I've got here now is some pieces of paper that I've cut down to fit in. That one's a different size for some reason. Oh, I was cutting multiple pieces in the paper trimmer at the same time, so this piece might have moved. Okay, so all I'm going to do is fold the paper in half. And then I'm going to stitch it in with the sewing machine. So straight down the middle to make my little booklet. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so to fold them in half. I've got the 3 little books there, and I'm just going to put something on the covers just to make sure I do it the right way up. Okay, so that's the right way for that one. Here's the other one. With this one I just used a scrap of paper and wrote on it. Scrap of fabric on top of a scrap of paper, and then just wrote the word notes on there. So I'm going to do something similar to that on these ones. On this green one, I think maybe a piece of this would look nice on there. something like that. Could sew it on, but I don't think I will. I'll just glue it. And then I want a word to go in here. So, oops, it threads everywhere. I think about half the thickness would be fine for that, and about that long. The other one that I did, I actually sewed the paper onto the little label, onto the piece of fabric label, I mean. And there's that one. What sort of word can I put in there? Oh, let's just stick to notes. Put it up the right way might help. So I think that'll stick, but I might need to put something on it just to hold it down for a bit. Put that on there. This one. I love that one. I mustn't have sewn it in the middle. This is, well, they're only for me. That's 3 down. And I've got this one. Yeah, piece of this stuff here. It's already got stitching on it where I was trying to fix the tension in the sewing machine at one stage, I think. So that one's stuck down, and I'll put that on there. Okay. Now, so that's 4 that I've made. But I reckon I would like to make a little patchwork one as well. So I'm going to use this piece of paper. I'm going to glue on my pieces of fabric, and then I'm going to stitch around it. So it's going to be a little bit like a snippety thing, but with fabrics stuck on there instead. So these ones turned out okay. I haven't put a little label on them or anything yet. They're quite cute. I put heaps of paper in that one, just about broke my sewing machine, I think. But yeah, it looks pretty cute. And I've come to the realization that I'm probably going to have to make about 30 of these to even make a dent in that pile of fabric. So yeah, I'll be making a few. So that's 6 little notebooks, and no difference to the pile. And I've still got those other little plastic bags. So got that one, that one, that one, the parrot, that one, and that one. So yeah, anyway, I hope that's given you some sort of idea what you can do with your scraps. And if you're just wanting a little notebook to throw in your handbag, it doesn't have to be too fancy, because these are not fancy. They're as rough and ready as you can get. And I probably used up more of my scrap papers than I used of my scrap fabrics, to be honest. But anyway, I'm quite happy with how they turned out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Check out the playlist. The hashtag's going to be on the screen. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'll put it in my video description box and up on the screen for you when I do the edit. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you in another video. So cheers from Australia. Hooroo!